Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SevTech Ages. Today what I want to do is actually level up our armor once again. So pretty much all the stuff that we put on there last episode, or I guess just the Prismarine is what we did, we're going to be swapping that stuff off. I've also leveled all our gear up one more time by standing in our bushes here. So that's why I want to do this. And hopefully, right, I want to go into the nether and collect some cobalt and ardite, because combining those together gives us manilium, and with that, it is currently the highest defense thing that we have access to, as far as I'm aware. Maybe there's another mod that adds armor, but we're going to be sticking with the Tinker stuff here for a little while. So I want to try and get the manilium put together so that we can change out our cores on our armor at least. Probably not the boots, but at least the cores and maybe the plates as well. So I have to level it up again to do that. And then what I think I'm going to do with the trims is actually go through and read all of them and try and pick one that makes the most sense, because a lot of them have like armor durability stuff, which doesn't really make any sense for the armor that we're currently wearing. So we're probably not going to go with any of those. And then if we go with copper, for instance, we gain additional XP. So I'm just going to have to go through and pick something, or just have a mismatch of a bunch of different things that hopefully helps us moving forward. So that's something I'll probably end up doing off camera. But right now we're going to take a trip on over to the nether, like I said, and we are going to hopefully get our hands on some of the cobalt and ardite. I'm also going to craft up the next tier of the ore prospecting stick thingy. So let's get that thing put together, and that should trigger some advancements. There we go. We also had redstone from the Twilight Forest, so that's why that one got triggered there. Alrighty, well, we are loaded in, and we have a nether fortress right next to us. That is incredible. Okay. So while we're in here, we have to keep an eye out for the amethyst as well, because in this pack, we have drawers, and now that we're in age 3, we have access to the controller, which requires an amethyst block to craft. So I want to go ahead and get those things rolling. I'm trying to sit here and figure out which one of my buttons is the button to do this, but there we go. But yeah, we want to keep an eye out for the amethyst, because I want to get the controller up and running, since our storage is really, really horrible at the moment. So I don't know if we're going to have the little things on the ground, or if we need to just run around scanning the walls with this thing over and over again. So I just want to do a quick little look around and see if there's anything purple laying around, but I don't see anything at the moment. So is there a reason to go into the fortress right now? We do, actually, yes, because we need wither stuff. If I can remember this correctly, we need this, the wither dust, and that allows us to make the unstable pearl, and with that we can make a vacuum hopper. So I would really like to make that as well for our little area over there with our wood chopping thing. Just plop one of these down instead of having the dozen freaking hoppers that I have down right now. That would be really nice. We can make a null charm, which I don't remember what that does, but we'll probably end up making that thing as well. So you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into the fortress. How bad can it be? We should be able to kill stuff very quickly with our little star here still, so I'm not super worried about it. And we have a wither skeleton right away here, so that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to get it low and then kill it with our sword to try and get a head. But there we go. We got a fragment at least. What do we do with these guys? Combine 9 of them, we get a head. Ooh, okay. All right, well, that kind of makes me wonder whether or not the heads are actually disabled then, if there's a recipe to craft them. So I'm actually going to try and kill a couple of them. That guy looks kind of cool. With our cleaver, because there should be a better chance of dropping a head with this thing. So if I can find one... Actually, we got a spawner there I don't want to deal with at the moment. There we go, we got one. Cool. Okay, so we almost instant-killed it, and it did drop another fragment. So, yeah. Maybe it is disabled. I don't know. We'll just kill him with this thing, and then maybe we do get a full head. Maybe we just keep getting the drops themselves there. I'm not really sure. Well, there we go. I just killed one, and it dropped the full head as well as the dust. So that's just a chance thing, I guess. But we got some nether wart here. That's another advancement. There we go. I'm not going to bother taking the sand, because there's a whole bunch of it outside this fortress. Let's make sure we grab a little bit of this. I was really hoping it was multiple layers thick and not just one top layer. That kind of stinks. But okay, that's fine. We got a little bit of that. We're not going to be growing a whole bunch of it. We got flame string. Hey, hello, buddy. I didn't even see that guy creep up on us there. That was not cool. Can you drop another skull for us, bud? That would be cool. He dropped a little piece. Okay. Well, we got 25. Let me get another one of these guys going, and one more for the road. There we go. One more, so we have an even 32. Yeah, let's get that. Cool. So I'm gonna get back to looking for the amethyst now that we got stuff from the fortress here. We don't really need much else. We needed one of the dusts, and then we needed a skull too, just in case we needed more. So we have that squared away. We got our nether warts. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get back to looking for the amethyst here. Hopefully we can stumble across some of it. Alrighty, well, I think this is going to be some of the amethyst right here. I also think I might have jumped the gun again, like I did with the iron, trying to find the cobalt and ardite, because I don't think we have access to it just yet. It's not showing up in our JEI stuff, and I've also not seen it here in the nether, which is kind of odd, because in other packs, it is a very common thing on the ground. So, yeah. I'm going to have my work cut out for me here because that's one piece. Nothing of interest. Nothing of interest. Okay. Yeah. I need to find at least 9 of those because we only need 1 block, I believe, for the controller. And then we need platinum, which I found already in the overworld. We have a deposit right in our base, which is really nice. We're going to need some redstone engineering blocks, which is probably relatively straightforward to put together as well. Everything else, I think, is going to be very nice as well here. But yeah, let me get to looking for this stuff because we're going to pivot a little bit. Instead of upgrading our gear, what I'm going to do instead is actually build our base. So I know it's 9 episodes in and I haven't really built a base just yet, but we're going to do that today. Now that we have access to the controller and we've had access to drawers for the longest now, I've just not done anything with them. So better late than never, I suppose. But yeah, we're going to do that instead. I also want to grab some of that. I don't know what it is. This guy could leave me alone for 2 seconds. Everything else good? We're good? Okay, cool. What are you? Oh, it's salt. Okay, maybe we don't need any salt, actually. I'm just gonna run around then. There's a sheep. Hey, buddy. I don't know what you dropped, but I'd like to know. You just dropped normal stuff. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to looking for the amethyst here, and hopefully we don't get stuck finding single deposits like that. That kind of sucked. Alrighty, well, before we start building our base, I actually need to go find a desert because I do need quite a bit of glass and sand. So before we do that, I want to set some things in motion here at base, mainly this, the coal coke oven, because that's going to produce creosote, and we need that to be able to craft the engineering workbench, which then allows us to craft the vacuum tube, which we need for our storage drawer. So let's get one of those put together real quickly. We're also going to craft the chunk loader, which we had in the last age, but I just never really got around to building one because I didn't really need it. And luckily enough, we did have one of the ender pearls just laying around, so I'm going to very quickly smelt it down and turn it into an actual usable pearl. And while I do that, I do have all the gold, hopefully, inside of our smelter ready to go already. We need to use a bunch of gold to make the chunk loader, and then we will craft together that coal coke oven here in 2 seconds. Well, while I have the bricks melting down here, I am now running into a new issue that I don't know how to fix other than restarting my game. But as you can see there, if I open up inventory, and as soon as I hover over an item, we have another menu open that I can't quite tell what it is just yet. But hopefully on a reboot it fixes it. But if I go into a normal workbench, we are fine. So for the time being, I'm cool with that. We are going to put together this guy right over here. Hopefully this works on its own and I don't have to feed it ender pearls. That would be ideal. But the bricks are done, so let's get those out of there. And we should have everything on us right now to also craft the coal coke oven here. So let's plop those guys there. Let's get this thing that, and there we go. So I'm going to plop this down probably just right out here for right now. I don't really know where I want to put it, but for the time being, this should be fine. And you know what? I'm actually going to try something with this coal coke oven. I don't know if it's going to work, but I had this thing set up when I was making all of our paper, and it turned out that I was doing it wrong, because I was using the basin, which is not the way to do it. So I wasted a lot of paper on that. But I did have a little tank set up over here where I was getting all the water from, and I automated the little basin, and then I tore it out to do it all manually when I realized I was doing it wrong. But real quickly here, I want to enable this. There we go. Cool. And then let's see. We need the liquid coming out the side, or on the bottom here. So if we punch this, I can't move my stuff on my hotbar. That's really starting to annoy me. So let's punch that out. And, I'm realizing I can't move my hotbar because if I open it, it's just going to keep closing, and I can't bring the Tinker stuff over to my hotbar to place it down. So, you know what? Let me do a quick reboot. Or actually, hold on. Let's see if a save and reload fixes it. Well, the save and reload didn't fix my issue, but let's just say that it did because I don't want to admit how dumb I just was there. But yeah, we're going to try and automate this thing real quick. So we can have the drain on the bottom here. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure we can. Let's actually... you know, I'm kind of regretting having a big shovel now, because every now and again, a little one would do fine. But that should be fine there. Plop this guy out. We can plop that right there. We actually can't. Okay. Let me go grab a normal set of tools here so I can move one by one here instead of breaking chunks of stuff at once. Okay, well, this hopper's a little bit picky, so we have to place it from the direction we want it to pull from. So we had to break our oven for 2 seconds. Let's place that all back. And now all we got to do is build out the tank here. So it's pretty much just like a smeltery, except for we're not going to make it that big. It's only going to be this tall, and then a layer across like so. And then the inside right here is the only bit that's actually the tank capacity. So there's not going to be a whole lot of room in here, but it's definitely going to be more than what's inside of the oven right there. So for right now, we are going to have 2 of our drains on here, even though we're not going to use both of them. It's purely because I don't have any, or I guess I do have more seared bricks. I just got to go over there, and I don't feel like doing that. So let's just build it with what we got, and then it's only a temporary thing, right? We'll move it eventually, and then I'll actually get more of the seared bricks here. But that should hopefully work. Let's test it by placing in some wood into this thing. I think it's wood. It's burning, so I'll take that as a yes. And it looks like if it did produce any, it pulled it out immediately here, and this thing is no longer blue. It is brown, and it has 250 millibuckets in there. So that does indeed work. So we can then automate this by doing that, maybe. Let's actually climb up real quick and place this there. I don't have any more wood, so you know what? Let's do this real quick and just see, is that going to stack it in there? It is indeed. Cool. Let me grab one more hopper. I can then automate the removal of the charcoal. And then that is going to be that little section automated, and we can plop the chunk loader on it, and then I'm going to go searching for a desert. Alrighty, well, there we go. We got it automated, so we have a couple stacks of wood to process through while we're gone, and all of our charcoal should be going into this chest, and by the time we come back, hopefully we have a good amount of the creosote oil built up as well. But what I'm going to do right now is actually head south, or actually, before we do that, let's plop this guy down, and hopefully we don't need to give it ender pearls. It doesn't look like it. There's no UI, so hopefully that's just chunk loading the area. But anyways, I'm going to head south. And the reason that I'm going to head south is because we are on the SevTech custom map thing. So south should be deserts and like hot climate things. So we're going to go that way. Hopefully we stumble across one. There's a whole lot of area I've not yet been. So if need be, I'm just going to travel until we do stumble across one. Hopefully it doesn't take too long here. But during that time, like I said, that stuff should hopefully continue processing through as long as that chunk loader is actually chunk loading. Oh, actually, there's one last thing I want to craft before we get going here, which is this guy right here, the player launcher. So the recipe for it is very straightforward, and I'm hoping that it's going to be better than the slingshot. So we need 2 slimes. We are going to need a string. We're also going to need some quartz. Now that we've been to the nether, we have some, and we needed some glowstone. So let's get 3 of those and put this thing together. Hopefully it doesn't have a durability range to it. Oh, it does have durability. Ugh, I don't know if I like that. We have to charge it, and you know what? That's not really better than the slingshot. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the slingshot, because this is not better than that. Unless I can fling myself in the air, which I guess kind of we can do, but I'm going to stick with a slingshot. This is going to be nice to get us out of water or things that we just can't sling ourselves out of normally with a slingshot, but yeah, I'm going to stick with the slingshot because it is a little bit better. But anyways, let me get back to looking for this desert, and hopefully what just happened there? Oh no. That is not a normal slingshot jump. My game just completely bugged there. That was weird. Where did we just get launched? Where am I at? I'm there. And the world is all the way over here. I was just right here. So I just got flung from all the way over here, like this direction, which is 600. 600, maybe 700 on Z. And we are currently all the way out here, which is 2,500. So we went like almost 2,000 blocks. I don't know what just happened. That is very clearly a bug. But let's see if we can replicate that, I guess, right? We did this, and then we charged this, and then we flung ourselves. And yep, that just did it again. Okay, well, I guess that's a good thing, because it's going to make our exploring a lot easier and a lot quicker. And yeah, we should stumble across a desert. Speaking of which, is that a desert right there? That is not. That is a plains. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get back to looking for this desert. Hopefully I can find one before my game crashes and burns to the ground, because we just got launched another 1,000 blocks. So that's cool. But I might have to start backtracking and actually looking at the terrain, because we're going to be skipping over a lot of stuff, it looks like. So I finally found a desert and loaded up on as much sand and sandstone as I can carry right now. I have 2 backpacks pretty much full of it. And the only reason that I found a desert to begin with, because I explored a good portion of the area as I was going along, is because on journey maps, apparently it tells you what the biome is in an area that you haven't been just yet. So I'll go ahead and expand that in the edit, but on the bottom of our screen here, it tells us the coordinates as well as the biomes. So luckily enough, I did find a desert here, and there's also another desert 44,000 blocks away. And the reason that we're not at that desert is because I did the little jumpy glitch thing, and my game locked up as soon as I hit that waypoint. And then it froze for a good 30 seconds to a minute, and when it unfroze, I was on the red beacon, which is 44,000 blocks away. So I didn't really want to go back all the way to that one, just in case it wasn't actually a desert, because on the minimap, it still doesn't have it uncovered. So I'm not really sure. It should be a desert, because this one was a desert as well, and it turned out to be one. So I don't have any reason not to believe that. But yeah, I've got 48,000 blocks to travel back home right now. I'm not going to be doing the glitch on the way home, just in case it glitches out again and it launches me another 40,000 blocks in the wrong direction. So I'm going to travel home, start smelting down all this glass and getting things ready for the base build. And all of the stuff that we set in motion when we left should all be done by now, unless it's very, very slow. It's almost been about 3 hours since that last clip. So everything should be turned into charcoal by now, and we should have a bunch of creosote oil as well. All right, well, we're finally back at base, so let's go ahead and actually start building out the building that I want to get put together here. This is going to be our probably final base for the series, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and just trace this out. The bottom bit of it is going to be stone bricks, and I already have pretty much the little dirt stencil down on the ground here. So let me do a layer of this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next layers. And there we go. That is the first layer of our base in. The next thing we're going to do is place in a whole bunch of wood. So we're going to have a single stripe all the way around of this dark oak variant, which is just chiseled dark oak. And then on top of that one, we're going to have a layer of this dark oak. And then on top of that, separating another layer of this stuff pretty much on top is going to be this dark oak as well as windows. So it's going to take me a few minutes to get all this stuff in, but I'm going to be layering in all of this real quick. And then by the time I come back, we should hopefully have something that kind of looks like a base. We're not going to be completely done with it, but all of the walls on the outside here are going to be completed. And then we can work on the final thing that's going to top off the entire building here. All right, well, we have all of the walls and windows in. We have one final thing to build on the outside here, which is the top part. So we're going to be putting in a dome, kind of how we had in our Vault Hunter series. So hopefully it looks somewhat decently. I'm going to go ahead and build it out of sandstone. We're also going to have windows in it as well. So let me go ahead and smash this thing out. Once we're done with that, I'm going to go through and also add in the flooring, because we kind of don't have anything going on in here just yet. But when we come back, we will have this thing pretty much done and ready to start putting all of our stuff in here. Well, the base is pretty much done. We still need to add some staircases or something on the inside here so that we're actually able to get to the top of the dome as well as the basement, because currently I don't have anything in place to do either of those. And I think I'm also going to be changing around this staircase on the entrance. I'm not really liking it too much. So the door might drop down into the basement, and that might be the entrance, or I'll try and have some sort of like a bendy little staircase thingy going up into like a little balcony or whatnot, so that way we don't just have a straight shot to the door. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do just yet, but I'm going to be messing with that in between episodes here. Anyways, though, that's all we're going to do on the base for today, so let's go ahead and try and make our drawer controller before we wrap up today's episode. And to do that, we are going to need the workbench from Immersive Engineering, which is the reason why we got our creosote oil going. So to do that, we are going to need just a bucket of that stuff surrounded by some planks, and it's going to give us the planks for it. So that's going to be really doable. We have a lot of it backlogged in our little tank over there. Well, I had a little bit of an oversight here because you can't just right-click the fluid out of this thing. You have to put it into a casting basin and then pour it into the bucket like that. While I'm waiting for that to process through, I am actually going to start the process of making some coal coke, because that is the advancement that I thought we were going to get, but we were making charcoal, so it wasn't actually giving us that advancement. But now that we have one of the buckets on us, we can actually take this and turn it into the treated planks. And is this going to allow us to craft like vanilla fences, or no? We need the treated sticks as well, but we can make normal sticks, so that's great. And now we should be able to click on this and get the workbench. There we go. This is still processing through, so that's not going to give us that just yet. And let's see, for the, what was it, the pressurized tube thingy that we needed, this is the little tube that we need to craft. So the recipe for that is super doable and simple. We got nickel that we need to go find. We got copper wire, which we can craft with either the clippers or the metal press. I think for right now, I'm just going to go the clipper routes. And yeah, that is super cheap. So I'm going to go that route for the wire. And then we're also going to need a blueprint for components, which is this guy. So for that, we're going to need some aluminum and iron, copper, some blue dye. Okay, so I need to go find some aluminum and some nickel. Those are the two things that I don't currently have. I should have them marked. I'm pretty sure we have a deposit somewhere close by. I think it's right over there by the totemic stuff for the nickel. And then for the aluminum, I'm not quite sure. Maybe, I think that one drops both of them, actually. One of these things drops 2 metal types if we harvest it, so I gotta go mine some real quick. We only need a piece each, so that's not really that bad. Alrighty, well, I have the stuff to make the blueprint, but I'm currently waiting on some more things to alloy in the smeltery here so that we can make the 2 things that we need. For the drawer controller here, we need 2 of these guys, which requires us to have 8 of these redstone alloy plates, which I'm currently trying to get in this thing right now. So our redstone's done. We currently have 1 block worth. So yep, there we go. We have enough for this thing now. Well, we should have everything here. So let's put our blueprint in. We can shift click all the other ingredients. That's not one of the ingredients. That is, and redstone. There we go. We got 3 of the vacuum tubes. With that, we then go back into our crafting grid, and we should be able to craft this guy. We do indeed. There we go. There's both of those things now. And the only thing left for us to craft is a drawer, or I guess the trim for the drawer. And then we're also going to need to get some platinum, which I thought I had already, but I don't. But we do have a deposit right here next to our Twilight portal. So let me grab some more ore. And then let me also make the drawer thingy so that we can put this controller together here in 2 seconds. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and craft up the drawer controller here. So let's get our amethyst block put together. And now all we got to do is shift click that. And there we go. There's our drawer controller. I think I'm going to make a whole bunch of drawers in between episodes. I'm not going to set them up just yet because, again, I still got to do some stuff in the base there. But I hopefully have enough for next episode that I can sort all my stuff and not have to like move all the chest over. I can just move it all into drawers at once. But anyways, there we go. We got 2 more advancements done for today, so that's cool. But that is going to be it for today's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.